Human sacrifice, dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria. That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over. What the fuck are we gonna do now? What are we gonna do?
Welcome to Forget Work, Watch Films with your hosts, Tony Howe, Thomas Connors, and Robert Connors.
Welcome everybody to a new edition of Forget Work, Watch Film. I'm your host this week, Tony, just watching Tom trying to do conga to do something.
No.
Oh, he's complaining about his tea that I've made him, that it's too milky. What I have to deal with. Anyway, welcome everybody. Hope you've been enjoying the latest few episodes. Obviously, the two-parter we did.
Yeah, we double
Penetrated.
did it last week.
We DP'd. So I'm your host, like I said this week, Tony. I'm here with Rob.
Hi everybody.
And Milky Tea Tom.
Hey.
So the first thing I want to start off with is the unfortunate news of the passing of Chadwick Boseman. Obviously that was the 28th of August. He passed away aged only 43. Tragic news. We were all obviously upset at the time. Your thoughts on this, guys?
It's horrible. It's proper horrible, isn't it? I watched Black Panther on Saturday night. It's just horrible.
Well, I watched Infinity War and Infinity End, and it's hard to see somebody who's in the prime.
Do you know what the thing is as well? You know when you watch these films and there's all these different characters, sometimes you're really kind of like drawn towards a particular character, and you just feel as though the actor that they've got has nailed the character, and the whole premise of that character is spot on. And that was the case with Black Panther.
Yeah,
they absolutely nailed it. And even Chadwick Boseman, not just as T'Challa, I just thought it was the coolest. Like, you know, every time you saw him at a premiere or an interview with him, so cool and so laid back. And I mean, everybody knows somebody who's gone through some type of cancer, and the treatment for it is just the worst. What it does to people. So for him to have it at that stage, to go through that treatment and to carry on making films, is unbelievable. He didn't want sympathy from anybody. He didn't tell anybody. He just carried on making films. Unbelievable.
Do you know one of the saddest parts though? Like, so he had his big break movie in 2013. It's only 7 years ago. He played Black Panther 4 times.
Yeah.
He were going to be a lot further, but the thing is with Black Panther, so that movie made over $1 billion. And say what you want, whether you like it or not, it was such a massive, pivotal movie, wasn't it? But like he were a black icon.
Well, a lot of people really took it as a move forward from the industry.
I mean, they talk about for ages getting a black James Bond. We basically saw a black James Bond during Black Panther in the casino bit. You know, when he's walking in all suave and cool. He did such... He was like a cultural hero that only just got established and has been torn away. He were in such a position and such a role. It's almost like... You know what I mean?
I saw a quote from Kevin Feige that said... he made his name playing icons, and he has now become an icon, which I think is quite appropriate.
Yeah.
I mean, he were going to lead the MCU, surely. Do you know what I mean?
So,
or one of them.
Well, that's my next question. What do you think they should do next? Obviously, how do you move on from such a tragic thing?
I still can't believe
Do you because obviously the intention was, as with anything, was to, like you said, make Black Panther probably even more a focus of the MCU. Do you think they should recast it?
I think
they should?
I think they should, because the thing is, with Black Panther in the film, he says in Civil War, death in our culture is not the end, it's simply a stepping off. And I think if they were to do Black Panther 2 right, I don't think they should give it Shuri, like a lot of people are suggesting. Recast it, but honour him in the film, and almost have him like, you know, where T'Challa goes to that big plane where he can visit previous Black Panthers. Have him there in some capacity. He doesn't even need to say anything, and honour him in some way, and recast it with the right person. I know they really could. It depends who they get in, but that they shouldn't retire the character or anything.
It's almost too early to talk. What should they do with Black Panther? But it's
the only reason why I ask, and I'm not trying to, is the obviously I think the intention was that either this year, next year, was the intention to bring Black Panther 2 out, and I'm not saying that's what they should do. I mean, there was something on one of the channels where Marvel was supposed to be announcing something, and then they've said, obviously now due to these circumstances, was that going to be Black Panther 2?
No, well, I was watching the last panel they did last year where they announced Blade and Fantastic Four and stuff, and it showed you the timeline on the screen, and at the end, Kevin Feige goes on to say, we've not even talked about Black Panther 2 yet, and everyone goes mad, crazy. But it was supposed to be out in 2022.
Surely Kevin Feige knew of Chadwick's situation. He must have done. I know others won't, but Feige must have.
I just think personally that as a commemoration of this fantastic guy who did a fantastic role, that something needs to be
substantial
out to say we're carrying on, but we are not forgetting.
Yeah,
to move forward, we don't forget the past.
Shall I tell you what?
I think Michael B. Jordan should become Black Panther,
well,
I think there should be a massive thing where obviously it's respect. It's all about respect and respect to like.
No, I won't get him.
Would you not?
No,
I think he's.
I thought it at first, but after watching Black Panther, his character is probably one of the most fiercest evil enemies in entire MCU. So
they should give it somebody unknown and give them their big break, like it was for Chadwick.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Really give somebody.
Do you know what gets me with it all though? What makes it even more sad? Have you seen the video of the MCU cast sharing the thoughts on him?
Yeah.
It's really sad. But you know, so you look at Fast and Furious, you know, and it is sad with Paul Walker as well. I'm not saying that. But when you look at them, and they're always preaching family this, family that, fast films are about family. They're not. They're always preaching that. But the Marvel film, surely they would look at each other as family. It's such a huge ensemble, isn't it?
I couldn't believe it when I woke up and I saw news.
Do you know what I mean?
Not believe it. I phoned my mate up straight away. But you know, it's like, and I don't want to say that one's worse than the other. But can you imagine waking up and finding out Robert Downey Jr.'s dead? Do you know what I mean? It was just like the biggest shock ever.
He is just a massive character, and like you say, I think as a family, as a Marvel family,
but they
need to do They need to do something as a tribute
to honour him,
and to honour him. So I'm going to close that page. Obviously, respects to Chadwick Boseman, and obviously condolences to his family.
I watched Black Panther the other day, and I think I'm gonna go back and watch 21 Bridges.
Yeah.
I know it's not the best film, but I want to, and I'm gonna watch The Five Bloods. You know, the Spike. Is it Spike Jones? Is it Spike Lee?
Spike
Lee.
Spike Lee.
The black.
I'm gonna watch because he made it, didn't he? It's on Netflix. I am gonna try and watch a bunch of his films now because I really like.
Well, I'll definitely watch Black Panther again because it's just such a good film.
It is, and there's just moments in it you just cannot fathom that this guy he's gone. He's awful.
So sadly, let's move on to the big film at the minute.
Yeah.
The film that you went to see Monday, we went to see yesterday.
I thought you were going to talk about Bill and Ted 3.
No, we're not going to do Bill and Ted till next week until I've watched it. So, Rob, hold that in your notes for next week,
Well,
because I will be watching. Have you not watched it yet?
I've got it to watch.
Right, so we'll definitely do Bill and Ted next week. But I'm talking about the big film at the minute, the big film at the cinema. Well, when I say big film at the cinema, the only film at the cinema, and that's Tenet. And now, over to you guys.
Right, this will be spoilers. It's got to be spoilers, hasn't it?
Right, you say spoilers, but
No, you can't
we can
spoil
only
that
spoil
film.
it as much as
You can really spoil it.
So-
So if you've not watched Tenet, just don't listen.
Can I ask you a question then?
go on.
Because I asked, so my missus, Katie, proper enjoyed it. In fact, she wanted to come with you the next night, thinking if there were any girlfriends going, she'd have gone again. She's fascinated by it. She's reading everything. Like, and I when it finished, I thought she were going to turn around and say it was terrible. But so if I ask you, right, what was so in the trailers we were trying to guess when they say no, a threat worse than that, a threat worse than World War III.
Yeah.
What was the Russians' plan? What was he going to do? If he died, the world died.
See, I actually know that.
And I think I know it.
Go on.
So I'll say it, and you clarify if I've got it wrong, because
No,
I think, Tom,
go on.
you've read up on a lot of the stuff
Oh,
and
yeah,
watched a
I've
few videos.
watched about
I
10
intend
videos.
I intend to. The way I understood it, and big spoilers, so please move forward.
I didn't have
There were a
clue.
scientist in future. She's created a device which allows you to sort of like a temporal move through time. So you can move stuff through time during, I think it's to do with nuclear energy, nuclear stuff, which creates the ability to do it. So
Yeah.
you can then dump stuff through time.
Yeah, so far so good.
She realises that she's made a mistake, so hides the 9 pieces in the past.
Yeah. But this
In
what
the
you're
future,
referring
in the
to,
future.
the device you're referring to, 'cause it's quite important, is the algorithm.
Yeah, but it looks like some at Masters at Universe. It just looks like the weirdest piece of kit. When I say weird, I mean stupid. In the future, we've basically destroyed the future.
Global warming.
Global warming, all that shit, like we are doing now. So they're upset at us because it's our fault. So the people who hold the power in the future want us dead. So they've contacted this guy.
That's kind of
Who's-
right.
who's-
Do you want me to do? Do you want me to correct you as you go? Or-
No, correct me. They've contacted the guy who's the main baddie, and made him the main baddie because they've communicated with him right from the start when he was young. And because he's been dealing with this nuclear stuff, which is hardly travel with, he's now got incurable cancer and is about to die. And because he's about to die and he's such a megalomaniac, he's going to do their job for him and basically kill us all.
And you've not read anything after
No,
seeing it?
and I've not read anything.
Fuck me.
What, you didn't get any of that?
No, I
I
didn't.
didn't get any of that. You were kind of right, apart from
Go on.
they didn't contact him. He found it in his hometown, and they sent it back in like a time capsule, and he was there at the
Like
right
where?
place.
No. It had his name on
No,
it.
yeah, it did. But they'd already contacted him. They'd been contacting him all the way through. But they first made the initial contact just by chance because it was in his hometown where there was an explosion, and he found it. And then from then on, through communication, he was communicating with the future.
Because if you leave out in a message or out online,
Yeah.
you're communicating with future. Now, this podcast
makes
is a
sense.
communication to
Yeah.
future. Don't kill us.
But you've got to think like that was a plot hole that some people thought by saying, "Well, how did they just pick him to communicate with?" But he was, and it literally quote for quote in the film says he was in the right place at the right time.
Right.
He found it in
Right.
this where this explosion was.
Might have missed that bit
other than-
mumbling.
I know. Other than that, though, you were quite spot on with it all. Like I really didn't get that at all.
Was the purpose of Michael Caine literally just to get him to introduce him to somebody else? It weren't it? He was the contact.
His role was unknown, pointless,
his role...
Give Michael Caine a role.
His role was just to say to the protagonist, and by the way, that was the name of the character, the protagonist. He didn't have a name. His role was to bridge the gap between him and, I don't know if I'm going to get this right yet, Savoy, or what the bad guy's name, Kenneth Branagh. It was a Russian name. It was something like
in it's Savoy. It is Savoy.
Something like that. And he said to him, "You're going to need a better suit if you want to fit in with these billionaires." It was just to bridge the gap, and it was. He
gave him his credit card.
Don't forget, Michael Caine pretty much had exactly the same role in Inception. He played DiCaprio's stepdad, who he goes to meet at a school, and Michael Caine then introduces him to Ellen Page.
But this is the thing, though. That's metaphorically Nolan's love of cinema, isn't it? It is.
Before we go any further, though, so the impending doom that you were referring to, Kenneth Branagh, basically we're going to set the world in reverse so that it'd keep going backwards and backwards and backwards until it eventually go to the point where the world was created and then beyond, so civilization just slowly disappears and dismantles.
I never got
and the
that.
world
I thought it was just an explosion that blew everybody up.
No, he's going to do what Superman did in the first movie, where he reverses the planet, but reverses it all, so it keeps going and going and going backwards to the point where the world just like goes.
See, I was confused.
I never got that.
Do you know how that lost? But Henry, I thought he was dropping a bomb into core of Earth.
You know, I thought that. That's what I thought.
That's how it seemed, though.
He was doing that. He was putting it in there, and he was going to blow it up so that this last piece of the algorithm would be stuck. They wouldn't be able to do anything about it. It would be there, and he'd connected himself to it. So when he died, nobody could get to it. That was it.
Right.
So it was protected.
Yeah,
but
I can understand that, because I couldn't understand what the whole point of why she couldn't kill him before they'd sorted this bomb out.
Yeah, they needed to get that last piece of the algorithm so that they could basically diffuse it and protect it. But he wanted to put it in that thing and seal it so that nobody could ever get to it. But can I just ask, while we're going through the plot and stuff, what did we think to it? What did you...
Do you know what? I did kind of like it. But the problem I've got with Nolan is, I think sometimes he tries to be too clever.
But the thing is,
and sometimes you can when you're being too clever, you can disappear up your own arse.
Yeah, but I get what you're saying. But 90% of movies that come out aren't clever and are dumbed down. Isn't it a bit refreshing to watch something that gets you talking and gets you...
Yeah.
It's like classic films from 70s
Yeah,
and
but
80s.
what I'm saying is, why does it have to be... It's as though that's his party trick.
Yeah.
His party trick ain't to get his pockets out and wave his knob about and say, I'm doing elephant. It's to do like a mind-bending film.
Yeah.
Like Inception, like Interstellar.
Did you notice that... I don't know why I'm throwing this out there, just curious. Did you notice that the guy who drove the speedboat at the end, the like Indian guy, he was in Inception. He played like the medic, the van driver.
It's a different guy.
No, that's him who drove. I think he's in from yesterday. Who used to
it
be
looks
in
exactly
EastEnders.
the same. I'm going to double check that. It
Right.
looks exactly the same.
I don't
person.
believe it. No, it weren't. It's not the same person at all.
We're just going to... We apologise for that.
Yeah, we apologise for his lack of knowledge. And not all Asian people look alike. I'm sorry about Tom.
No, it looked right. You just look like him, didn't it?
It did. It were in from yesterday, weren't
Is that
it?
EastEnders?
In from
and
EastEnders.
'Cause I did research thinking...
Because I were like thinking to myself, he's done right well for himself.
Yeah, I looked into it thinking it were him from Inception. Yeah, but the thing is, you said mind-bending. Dark Knight Rises, Batman Begins, they're not mind-bending.
Yeah, but you're not going to do like that with them.
Epic
You've got
scale.
to stick to some form
Do you
of
not,
the content.
Yeah, but do you not prefer an epic scale film to talk about and to blow your senses?
No, I do.
The guy from the Beatles film, like you say. Carry on.
Yeah, I do, but sometimes I don't like clever for clever's sake, just where it avoids the enjoyment of the story. Do you know what I mean? Because it's as though, like, what they do is they sit in a room, get this general idea, and then build a script round it. Do you know what I'm saying?
But that's
So your story, your script is all based around this one theory of like, oh, why don't we do a time travel? But we'll not mention time travel, and it's not time travel. Do you know what I mean?
But sorry if I'm not getting this, but I understand everything you're saying. But I feel as though you're beating around the bush a bit of, is it a good film? You said you enjoyed it, blah, blah, blah.
I need to watch it again, I think.
I think I need to watch it. To me, it's like what I thought. It's exactly the same situation as Inception. I did not like it, and I didn't think this is the best film ever. And then what I'll do is in about a year's time, I'll watch it again. And I'll just still think the exact same thing. This is a decent film. This is not terrible, but I'll have a better understanding of it, like I did with Inception.
This is 5 times more complicated than Inception. It's beyond.
You haven't asked me what I thought yet.
Well, I'm waiting for you to say.
No, carry on.
No, go on. I've said my piece.
So, I come out of it really wishing that inversion and things like that were true. So I could get 2.5 hours of my life back. I thought it was absolute crap. I shouldn't really say that because I do admire the fact that he's coming up with original ideas and pushing the boat. What do they say? Pushing the envelope.
Yeah.
Really coming up with new ideas. But I thought it was an absolute convoluted, stupid, ridiculous mess. How can you watch a film when they don't know what they're saying? You just come out. It got to halfway. Probably just after halfway, towards the end, I could have left. I just thought, this is ridiculous. I don't have a clue what's going on. There's a red team. There's a blue team. The red team's fighting nobody. They're all running around. They're all running around. There were a scene,
walking backwards,
but they were just shooting at nothing. And then the camera panned out. The camera panned out, and it was trying to be really clever because like some stuff were going in this way. And then the other, but you could see that the big extras all playing the soldiers that he'd got were just running backwards, and it looked stupid. But the thing is as well, and I really believe Christopher Nolan, right? He should be on a pedestal. He should be revered as a iconic filmmaker. But if you were asking me, I think he is severely overrated. I think he's one of them blokes that thinks he's right clever and writes this right amazing stuff in his head. But because he's had 1 or 2 hits, the studio are willing to say, "Yeah, go for it."
Yeah.
You. I watched an interview with him and lead actor today. An interviewer said to them both, "Look, out of curiosity, when you're filming these scenes, do you have like a Tenet Bible on hand? So the lead actor asks what's going on in this scene. Do you refer to the Bible?" And they both start laughing, and Christopher Nolan says, No, if I were to have a Bible, it'd be ridiculously confusing, right? 'Cause it's not, anyway. And this lead actor says, "Look, I put my pride aside, and if I don't understand, I just ask Chris." I asked him quite a lot. And I like think to me saying, yeah, can you imagine all them on set turning around to Christopher Nolan and saying, "Right, so what are we filming here?" And Christopher Nolan explains, and then they'll go, "Right." You know what I mean?
It's like I said. So what? We're blue team, yeah. And what's our point? Just run backwards.
Yeah, but
why are we running backwards? Don't ask.
But
so all they have to do is just run backwards.
It was such. And don't get me wrong, there were really some of the things that happened in it were really clever and really clever, really like well thought of. Like where, spoiler again, where they come up against themselves at the airport again. Clever, but don't forget we saw that in Back to the Future 2. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
I knew that as soon as it happened. I knew what it was.
But and the whole thing that was going on with the woman and Kenneth Branagh, and he basically had control over her through a painting. All these videos I've watched to explain it basically said, "Yeah, I'm not quite sure what that's about, but he used this painting to get control over it." Nobody understands.
Yeah.
And the bit at the end where she picks up her kid from school, and it ends on that. What's the significance? What's the point?
Well,
you know what? One of the rumors. Well, no, nobody could.
In it because she weren't allowed to be with her son.
Do you know what one of the big
So
rumours?
she takes him away because the Russian's gone.
Do you know what one of the big rumours are?
But has he gone? Because then she's changed.
Hello.
She's changed.
Do you know what one of the
future.
big rumours are?
Go on.
One of the big theories that people are trying. You know, like at the end of Inception, people are saying, "Is he still in a dream? Is he not?" People are trying to work out if that kid is Robert Pattinson. I don't think it is, from what I've read online. Like, basically, it's, like that's why he's so involved in it, because he's the kid. I don't think it is, but that's something to think about if you watch it again.
Oh, don't.
Because I don't think
You've done it. You have absolutely done it now.
because I don't,
Oh,
because
God.
he's like a public schoolboy, and basically that's kind of like what Robert Pattinson was. But I don't think he was, because from what I remember, he wasn't overly bothered about protecting her. It wasn't like his mission to protect her. He just wanted to stop the algorithm and all this crap and stuff like that. But no, I think he's too far up his own arse, and I think I just. We are all good film fans who went last night. There were 6 of us, right? All clever, cleverish lads. All 6 of us come out of it and didn't have a clue. What would your mum say if she watched that?
She'd turn it off. That would be turned off after 10 minutes.
You know what? I remember coming out of Interstellar and saying to myself, I am never watching that again, ever. And I come out of this and thought, why did I watch that? It was exactly what I thought it was going to be. When it finished, Carl goes to me, it was cool, that. I like that. It was alright. I says, I'm never watching a Christopher Nolan film again. And he went, really? Do you not? I said, no, I am never watching a Chris. I've gone over it and over this. I don't like Dark Knight Rises. I had a problem with it. It was rubbish. Trying to be too. But you couldn't tell what Bane was saying.
Yeah.
You couldn't tell what anybody was saying in this film, in Tenet. And when I googled it, the same article come up for Interstellar.
Yeah.
Nobody could tell what they were saying in Interstellar. And his argument is that, yeah, but you shouldn't have to tell a film story from dialogue alone. Everything else should contribute to the story. All right, fair enough. We just did not have a clue. I remember looking around like this, thinking, "My God, I need my ears syringe because I don't know what's going on." I thought it was just awful.
Over to you. After that, over to you. Do you concur, Captain?
Thought it was good. No, the thing is, right, I've never...
I can't disagree with what he's saying.
You know, as a kid, I didn't always follow films that well. I just used to like watching films. Seriously, most films I watched, I probably didn't understand them. But when I was watching Tenet, there were bits where I was bursting out laughing to myself, just like I have no idea what's going off here. And afterwards, I had no idea what was going off. But I enjoyed... Look, I don't think Nolan's overrated. I think he's one of the best out there. But, well, he probably is the best. But Tenet...
Might have been a bridge too far.
I can't... I didn't understand the bad guy's purpose. I didn't understand... The thing is that it leaves you to bridge the gaps yourself, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Can I find some questions?
No, I got back and Daisy says, how was it? I went, rubbish. She went, why? I said, the only way I can explain it, Daisy, is it was like watching algebra.
Claire says, "Were you film good?" I was like, my brain's frazzled.
Well, the thing
my brain's
is,
like gone.
do you know Inception? Again, bridging gap. I love that film. It's 10 out of 10. It's a masterpiece. But if you go in already knowing that the technology exists to share dreams, it never explains where that comes from. You've got to be on the basis that already exists, you know, and they all connect to that briefcase.
Yeah.
Tenet, the time styles.
I was just going to say, where do they come from?
Same. It's the same principle.
Where
what do you mean?
Then there's that. The
go in
machine
and come
that's
out.
sort of like sends you
Inverted.
Is that where you go in? It goes.
Yeah.
zoom,
That's like technology that they'd sent back from the future, so you could invert yourself.
Well, you didn't know what it was
But they would who built them?
Well, it were all
and they
built
were
in
just
the
dotted
future,
about.
and the future sent them back.
So my next question is thus, which is the ending, and sort of like so.
It was funny.
She now exists in the same timeline as 2 people.
Cat.
Yeah.
What? Say that again.
She exists in the same timeline.
Yeah, I couldn't work out why weren't she inverted.
Do you know what I mean? She's
I
come
don't
back into
fucking
past, killed him. She's on boat, original ones, on boat with her son. She's now killed him, which has changed that other one, her in boat's future. She's not going to have the same future as her because he's gone. He's dead.
Yeah, but she also explained that earlier in the film, this same lass, because she says he went missing not long after. It was the happiest day of his life, but he went missing not long after on the boat. And then Michael Caine mentions an explosion or something near where he lived, and that explosion is what happens at the end of the film. So it's all a complete mess.
So who's the one that he messes around with then?
No,
Who goes to meet?
Well, that's why she gets that scar, so you can allegedly differentiate between the two.
Did you figure out that when she says, "And I saw a woman dive off his yacht"?
I know that.
Did
Yeah,
you
we're not
twig-
retarded,
No,
are we?
did you twig
But that
No, when she said it, did you twig that would be her when
Yes.
she said it?
Yeah.
Right.
that point then is before she's even met the protagonist. But that protagonist meets Kenneth Branagh. But if Kenneth Branagh's already dead, who does he meet? Where's he from? Is he from future past?
I don't think
Because
you
you're
got
saying
that right.
he's dead. You need to watch it again.
No, I don't.
I do.
I'm never watching it again. I've watched YouTube videos on it, and they don't quite understand it either. So,
Because he's allegedly then, supposed to this protagonist, is allegedly then got to come. So he's here. This is start at film. This is end at film. He's then got to go all the way back here to get Robert Pattinson.
It's
Before Robert Pattinson saves him.
No, so basically, at the state where you're at...
Yeah, because he's not recruited Robert Pattinson yet.
No, Robert Pattinson recruits him because Robert Pattinson is going backwards in time. He's inverted, whereas the other guy's going forwards. That's why, through the whole film, that's why when Robert Pattinson meets him, he says to him, soda water please, and a Diet Coke. He knows what his drink is because he's known him for years.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying.
But don't forget, the concept of time travel in this film is you can't just... For you to travel back in time takes the same amount of time. Like for you to go 5 weeks into the past takes 5 weeks. So when they get on that boat and go in reverse, they're going on a massive journey that takes them weeks to go back in time to meet him. So he's already met this lass who, according to her, he went missing or whatever, or some. It's all I don't totally know what I'm on about. I just watched this YouTube video on it, and the YouTube video showed you like a chart, like a flow, and it showed you the direction that they all go in and how long, and it said next to it how long each journey takes. Like when they're on that big yellow boat, they're all travelling together to go back in time weeks to get to find the last algorithm. Now, at that end battle, there's a big explosion. When Michael Caine meets the protagonist, he says there was an explosion in his homeland a few weeks ago. He's referring to the end battle that has not happened yet. Do you know what I mean? It's
but
full
this is what I don't
of
understand.
stuff like that.
If you think it's shit, why research so heavily into it? Not the film, I mean just your preference of the movie. Isn't this what you want from a film?
You shouldn't have to watch it 14 thingies about it, though. You should be able to walk out here and think, oh yeah, I got that.
But I had to make the film make sense in some way, so then I could say, well, was it crap or am I just an idiot? Do you know what I mean? But now I've had it explained to me, it was just absolutely way too convoluted. And I get the impression I get is anybody who comes out of that film saying, oh, brilliant that, you didn't get it. It's just up their own arse and trying to come across like a movie buff that they're not. Would you agree? If somebody had come out of that film last night, let's say one of our mates, if he'd have come out of that and gone, didn't you get it? You just want to punch him straight in the teeth.
And nobody can walk in that fully understanding it. It's very confusing.
Do you know who was being rescued in the first... What was happening in the opera scene?
I ain't got a clue.
So basically, he'd been sent in to rescue some plutonium, but it wasn't plutonium. It was part of the algorithm. And just as he's about to get killed, Robert Pattinson turns up and saves him.
Yeah, got that.
But then it's part of the algorithm. Now, this random team's hired him and say, yeah, welcome to the afterlife. This guy then disappears. He's after saying to him, Ted, one word for you, and then sends him on this mission. This bloke's never to be seen again, so I'm not quite sure what that's about. That reminded me of Inception as well, because if you remember the first mission when that film comes on, the Chinese guy, I can't remember, you know, the old bloke in it, I can't remember his name.
What was that Chinese guy from Inception? Actor.
Well, it don't matter, whatever. He hires DiCaprio to do a job at the start as a test, and DiCaprio passes it, so then he hires him. Similar concept. They got him to do. They get him to take this cyanide pill, this suicide pill,
to know that
he won't rat his mates out. Which then.
I got all that.
But to me, it just followed a similar structure to Inception, but he just tried to make it more and more complicated to come across as more clever. It was just a mess.
Yeah.
I honestly, I preferred Bill and
I think I'm not as drained as I were when I walked out of that film.
What made me laugh is, you know that I said to you, Neil, I text everybody on group chat saying Nolan's looked at his past criticisms, he's simplified it, he's gone, you know, self-explanatory. It's the easiest movie to follow considering how complex it is. Just to see everyone.
When we walked out, Dave says, "Did Rob say she's very easy to follow?" I said, "If he followed that, I will stand hanging."
I've never ever been as bamboozled in a film.
Yeah.
Well, at the end scene as well, Robert Pattinson basically, for him the battle had not finished yet. Because he
had to go down and be killed.
He then inverted himself to go back in and travel back down.
Inverted, not inverted.
Yeah, honestly, it was so
bizarre.
I think he's overrated, Christopher Nolan, and one day he's going to get found out.
So I think we've covered exactly what we really thought I'm my brain is frazzled now, as it were, when I walked out.
Anyway, what do you think to IMAX? Right loud.
See, that was problem with it as well. It weren't just the confusing film.
Oh, right.
I was sat there and I'm thinking to myself, is it just me or can I not understand what anybody is saying? And you don't want to say it because you think, is it me being an idiot? But seriously, I couldn't understand what people were saying. Yeah. And then that makes an already complicated film even harder because you can't understand what they're saying.
On my surround sound at home, sometimes I watch them and I think, I can't quite. Have I got this set up right? I can't hear them properly.
Touching back on Tenet, did you understand what that Patel woman or something like that there was? You know, we met at the top of the building. Where he tried to kill her husband, and she said, "Get him a drink."
Well, she was supposed to be like some kind of top Indian gang lord.
Well, she worked
for him.
She worked for Tenet.
Yeah.
But do you know what? Why did he? Do you know why he killed her at the end?
Because she were going to kill her.
No.
Go on.
Because she knew about the algorithm. It was between them.
She didn't say something like that.
Between them three at the end, Aaron Taylor Johnson, Robert Pattinson, and the protagonist. They decide that they each take a part with them because it's too dangerous. They can't ever let anybody know about it.
Well, they can't meet up again.
Yeah, so that's why he goes on to kill everybody that knew about it.
One thing I weren't sure of is why did Aaron Taylor Johnson threaten to kill the lead guy, the protagonist, if he knows he's one of the head guys eventually?
It was as though he said...
Maybe it's because he didn't know at the time.
No, I don't think he did, but it was as though he said that this is so powerful, no matter what, we'll hunt each other down. That's what I felt he was saying.
I think visually,
you'll come and kill me.
You think as
I'll come and kill you.
Don't you think as well the characters in it were poor? There were no character development. You didn't know anything about the characters. Inception were brilliant for that. DiCaprio had a wife. He was going through some personal trauma. It were affected. He couldn't sleep, and the nightmares he were having were coming into the Inception, into the dreams. But in this film, you knew nothing about him. You didn't care about him.
I wanted him to kill. I didn't care about that woman and her son.
No,
I wanted her dead. I didn't like Kenneth Branagh because he played that exact same part in Jack Ryan, the film.
Yeah,
and
exactly
in the
same video part. I watched. Somebody mentioned that.
And I love Kenneth Branagh, and all I think he's really good. But when he plays this Russian oligarch, do you know what I felt at one point? Joe, when he were on boat, and he goes, "You saved my life. You must stay." I thought, this is a Bond film.
Yeah.
I watched bloody License to Kill or Living Daylight's one of them, and exactly the same thing happens. He saves this like baddie's life, and he goes, "You must stay at my villa." And I thought, this is exactly the same.
It's funny you say that though, because it is Nolan's love letter to a Bond film.
Well, it is.
He's openly said that.
Well,
Tell you
you
one
can
bit I
tell.
weren't sure of, I'll quickly get it in, is you know when the protagonist fights himself in that loop, when he walks past the bulletproof windows and he says, "It hasn't happened yet."
Yeah.
There's bullets. When his self flies through the time style, whatever it is, and they start fighting, why does his future self then start firing the gun when he knows it's himself?
I wanted to make that point. Why is he try to shoot himself?
Yeah, I did think
I
that.
said that, and Katie...
Is he trying to frighten himself off?
Katie come out with a good answer, because I said it as soon as we walked
Go
out.
on.
Her thing, what she got from it, is that he knows what the crack is, and he fired the bullets in the glass as a warning to himself, so when he's walking through and he sees the bullet holes, he knows something's about to kick off.
Right.
Get his guard up.
Well, he's still got to maintain that same thing, hasn't he?
Yeah. He knows he's about to come through. He's no way out of it.
Yeah, I suppose.
It's like a warning. He follows the bullets, so he knows, holy shit.
Yeah. That's a good point.
Yeah, I was quite impressed. I was like, you did
Yeah.
follow it, well done.
I'm not sure on that.
No, but he's simple enough to say that all he's trying to do is trying to maintain that timeline.
Yeah.
He knows he's got to put the bullets there because the bullets were already there.
Perhaps.
Anyway, I'll give it a good 6 out of 10.
One thing that's not explained as well is when that cat gets shot and they pick her up and get her on the hospital bed and rush her out and they take her to that time travel device. How does it heal her?
Well, it's supposed to be the way I got it from.
Didn't it revert the bullets so they're not inverted anymore?
Yeah. It's then he can do a proper operation on it, which is what Robert Pattinson does.
And I didn't get
But
his...
it's like he says at the start, what happens if you get shot with an inverted bullet? Oh, you're just dead. And then she gets shot with an inverted bullet.
But
and
why
she's
would
not
I didn't
dead.
get why would an inverted bullet more dangerous? What does it do?
Fuck knows. Moves backwards through time. moves up your bum.
Surely getting shot with an inverted bullet would be the best thing that could happen to you.
Well, it
So
comes out.
instead of going that way,
Yeah,
it
it
just
comes out.
We've only got 2 minutes left anyway.
Well,
Can I just say a few things I've watched this week? Gravity, watched that a couple of days ago. Decent film. That.
I watched it.
It's been on BBC.
I watched it.
That's
not so long
immense.
back.
That has got some of the best visual
Watched it in
effects on
IMAX.
screen.
Who directs that now?
Alfonso Cuarón.
Good film. Watch Bill and Ted 3. We'll get into that next week.
Bill and Ted 3 we will
I'll just
follow
say
next
it's
week.
the best time travel film I've watched this week. I've been watching The Boys. I'm 3 episodes in. Absolutely spectacular.
We're fucking Spice Girls.
I've finished watching the Spurs documentary that's on Amazon Prime. If you've not seen that, it's absolutely brilliant. Yeah.
Rob, quickly, anything you've watched?
Bill and Ted 1 and 2 ready for number 3. 1's a classic, 2's fucking awful.
So what? I might watch 1 and 2 before I watch 3 because
Yeah.
we are going to watch. Well,
Shut
I am
up,
going to watch
Bill.
3. And 1, when I first
way.
watched it, were brilliant. 2 is, like you say, it is a
Sacre
bit of
bleu.
a... Only good thing about 2 is death.
You know what? The worst thing is, I know you're going to hate number 3, but it is what it is. It's not a good film, but it's just... I enjoyed it, you know.
Yeah, I watched Bill and Ted 1 and 2. I was struggling with second one. That is a thing at a time. It's very dark. You know, scenes with grandmother running down.
It's supposed to be, isn't it?
Sinister.
Well, I quickly watched... Not quickly, but I quickly said that I watched Infinity War and Endgame.
I watched Black Panther as well.
Amazing films.
I can't believe he's dead. It's tragic, isn't it?
I
It's
know.
awful. Apparently, though, he recorded the dialogue for the Marvel What If TV show. I'm wondering if, because he knew he were going to pass, if they recorded some dialogue for when any future instances they can say a goodbye. I don't know.
Well, we'll have
That's
to wait
awful
and
and all.
see.
When them pictures come out of him online and everyone were calling him Crack Panther and all that stuff. That's horrific. Isn't
Yeah.
it? It's terrible.
But let's remember the quality that he's done.
I know,
Like I say, I will probably watch Black Panther. So I'd like to finish with
T'Challa here.
Wakanda Forever!
T'Challa,
and say
T'Challa, ho.
good night, God bless.
To forget work, watch film, tribe will not challenge today.
We will not be challenging today. Anyway,
And get this man a shield.
bye.
Bye.